Art for Change podcast, where creativity and empowerment unite. Streaming live every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We got Motion Monday, Therapeutic Thursday, and Soul Food Sunday. If you like what you see, book your seat. We turn up the heat with your Art for Change. You're on mute.
And here we go. Lady Albert. Hey, I ain't say it yet, but I like you made that intro video. That's fire.
Well, it took you a long time though. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I just had to, but everybody, welcome to Art for Change podcast. We out here. Our main host is out for today, but you know, BU is here, and then we got Lady Alva right here.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
How about that? Hey.
How's your day, BU?
It was a simple day. It was a good day, actually. I got home early. I got my rest before the podcast. I took a nap. You know, I got to take my naps. So it was a good day. Hey, y'all be taking naps?
Really? they don't even want to say it. Like they want to say, "What's a nap?"
Yeah, like what is that? Did that feel good? Did it not feel good? What was that like? Because the day goes for us. It's like, sometimes I kind of like. I know I'm not supposed to get envious, but gosh, you got a nap.
Right.
I want one too.
Yeah, I got a nap in. You know, I'm like, all right, you know, I'm gonna be on with 3 women. I gotta get prepared. Like, come on.
There you go.
Yeah. What did that feel like? What did the nap feel like? Tell us.
It was refreshing. Yeah,
it was refreshing. I know those be feeling good. I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see, but I like that. That's nice that you said that. He prepares himself to be in the company of women. You know,
yes.
That's awesome.
That's right.
That's awesome. That's
drinking
awesome.
his coffee, drinking his coffee.
Yes.
So I feel bad. Like as soon as y'all looking like, what's a nap? I take too many naps.
Oh wow!
Wow!
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Well, yeah, but then sometimes I don't sleep well at night. Like last night, I didn't sleep at all. I was up, and then I took a nap for a few hours today. That's what I was telling BU earlier when I was talking. Woke up, he was texting me, and so here we are. Hopefully, I get some sleep tonight to not carry this on. Yeah. Yeah. But it's good to be busy, whether you take a nap or you need, but the body, we all need rest. We all
That's
need
right.
rest.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how was your guys' day today? So let me say who you are. Today we have with us, Peggy Herrera and Janifer Taylor. They are 2 beautiful women. One is I'm going to read the bio before I get there. But the topic for today is about gun violence. These women have lost a child each to the horrific tragedy of gun violence. So that's why we have them here to talk about that. We'll get back to more of that. Tell me about your day today, if you will. Janifer, you go.
Today was not really a busy day. Today was a good day for me. I try to make it a good day because it's getting every day before December the 17th because it's getting really close to the day my daughter transitioned. So I try to get as much as possible, try to get some laughs in. And thank you, BU, because you started laughing as soon as you came in. So, it's good to get some laughs in every now and then. But, every day is a good day as long as God is providing.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm going to speak and let the people know a little bit about you. Janifer Taylor is a Christian parent support specialist, advocate, speaker for gun violence, and now the president CEO of Next Day After Inc. As a parent, as a parent support specialist with Life Camp Organization CEO Erica Ford, and a volunteer with Not Another Child Organization CEO Orissa Napa Williams. Victim advocate and prayerfully now the president CEO of her own organization, Janifer, has continued to do the will of God. Now, I love this part, what you say here. It's vulnerable for you to put this here, because she says she does not have a formal education or degree in this field. She says that her qualifications are not found in textbooks or diplomas. They are rooted in her relationship with Christ and the lived experience of losing her child, Dawn, to gun violence. The pain Janifer has endured has given her a unique perspective, a deep empathy, and a relentless determination to make a difference. Janifer says her purpose was not something she chose. Say it. It was given to her. That's profound. Wow. It was a divine intervention, a way for her to turn a tragedy into a testament of hope and resilience. No one can take this purpose because it is a gift from God. If she has breath, she will continue to use it to make a positive impact on the world. She has created unparalleled connections with mothers who are affected by gun violence around the world, making her one of the most trusted, respected people today. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's roll back and tell us about the next day after. Give us a little more insight on that. And why did you choose that name for it, the next day after? What's the meaning behind that?
Okay, the next day after, it definitely was a part of the Holy Spirit helping me to name this company. Because, when my daughter was murdered, there was people out there to assist me with the victims' crimes, compensation, also grief counseling. And I wanted the mother, any mother, family, or community member to, once they lose their loved one, to have what I got. There was someone there to help me and assist me along the way. So a lot of us Black and brown people, we don't know what's available to us. So once you bury your loved one, I want to be there to, assist a mother to make sure she knows and get what she don't know. Because in Jamaica, Queens, there's so many mothers that never heard of what we're doing right now, as far
Oh,
as,
wow.
assisting parents and mothers to let them know that there is compensation, like $6,000 toward a funeral. We have peer
Okay.
support
You're
groups.
blacking out a little bit. Am I the only one hearing that?
No, I hear her good. You're good. She's good.
Okay.
Okay.
She's good. She's good.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a lot of parents that just don't know, in the middle of grieving from losing a loved one, and especially a child. Then I want to be there so they can fall back on and let them know that they're never alone. So that's how I came up with Next Day After.
Maybe it's me. I'm losing some. You guys can hear me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can
I,
hear you
I
loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's me, but I don't know what my phone was doing right there. But I'm back. I can hear you. I heard the last thing, losing a child. Did you say something after that?
Yes, when you lose a child, it's hard to, go through grief alone by yourself. So therefore, Next Day After, I want to be there to, help and assist and support anyone. It doesn't really have to be a mother. It could be a father, sister or brother, a grandparent, a community member. We want to be there to make sure they get what they need. Next Day After.
There we go. Beautiful,
I like
beautiful.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
And what year did you experienced this tragedy, Jennifer?
I lost my daughter December 17th, 2021. My daughter was gunned
Mm-hmm.
down and murdered in front of the home where we live, 15547 Foch Boulevard in Jamaica, Queens. The morning that it happened, I heard a lot of gunshots. That's what woke me up. And by the time I got downstairs, her car was still running. So she went out that morning to start her car up and went back in the house to finish getting dressed. So when she came back out the second time, that's when whoever it was, because we still don't know, the case is unsolved, put 9 bullets in my daughter in front of the home where we lived. So it was that day that changed my entire life. I have a new life now, and my new life is I have a passion to help anyone else that's going through this horrible pain. It's a pain we
Mm-hmm.
live with every day, but we learn to live with it. I mean, we was just in grief share tonight, and you carry this load that you feel like you're never gonna unload, but there's ways to get through it. And being with people who know what you're going through is a great help. Someone has
Mm-hmm.
to know what I'm going through. Unfortunately, it's going to be another parent, it's going to be another friend, it's going to be another community member. They're going to know exactly the
Mm-hmm.
pain that we're going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's interesting. BU, that reminds me of a show that we did, and it was something about pain or mental health and stuff. And BU had shared that at one season in his life with his mental health that he was around all other people that had these issues too,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, like it's good, like you just said, Jennifer. BU found it resourceful and helpful for him at that time,
Hmm.
but then it may not, sometimes it's not good because sometimes people are not growing in that, they're just staying right where they are. So that's what I want to know with being around people. How is that experience for you? Or do you experience some people that are just stuck still in their trauma of the tragedy, or if so, are you or any other members there helping them to come out of that or through that?
Yes,
And
yes.
mm-hmm,
Yes, we do.
mm-hmm,
We do have, I think we have like over 100 and something mothers. We're in a group, not another
mm-hmm,
child. CEO Arissa Napa Williams. And that's where I got all of my training, I would say, or how to deal with the parent that's going through this type of trauma. And we go to groups and we sit around and we listen to stories from each mother that comes into the group. And some of the
mm-hmm,
stories can be worse than mine. And some of them don't want to have a relationship with God. Some of them are turning to the bottle and weed
mm-hmm,
to get through their pain.
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm,
we just don't let them go. We keep nurturing them and keep,
mm-hmm,
having them to know that there's something else, but you can't push them. They have to do it in their own
mm-hmm.
time.
All time.
So, I mean,
Mm-hmm,
mothers that come in and don't know which way to go sometimes, they're grateful to
mm-hmm.
have me, Peggy, Arissa. They're grateful to have us in their lives, but everybody has to go through grief differently. Nobody is
Yeah,
going to
wow.
be, yeah,
Right.
I
That's
know this gift that I have is truly from God because I wouldn't have never taken this job, you know, if God wasn't in
true.
my life. This is not a
Mm-hmm,
job I would offer anybody,
mm-hmm.
but we learn to
And
live with it.
one last question, and I'm gonna be you if you have anything you like to ask Jennifer Taylor. Is your daughter the only one? I mean, when you said 9 bullets in her. Did anyone else get shot out there that day
No,
or
actually,
morning?
no, it was her. She was a school bus matron. She was going to school get on the school bus and help the kids get off, and it happened at 6:20 in the morning. So she was
Mm-hmm,
the only one. Of course, everybody on the block, their cameras picked up footage. But it was around the time, and the pandemic was just over, and the guy was
mm-hmm,
bandaged up like a mummy. All you could see was his eyes. So it was, like I
mm-hmm.
said, the worst day of my life. You know,
Yeah, I can imagine.
hearing your child being,
Condolences to you.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Hearing your
eternal condolences.
Thank
Yeah.
you, because I
Wow.
mean tonight just being in grief share, I really, PTSD. You hear those gunshots ringing, all the time. So to keep busy and do something, helpful for someone else. It's a lot of my healing also. It's a lot of my healing also. It's a pain we never forget, especially a mother. We carry the child for 9 months, right? Fathers, they
Yes.
grieve differently. Siblings, they grieve differently. But a mother that has that child attached to her for 9 months, it's the worst pain in the world. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Be you?
Hey,
You
with
have
that
anything?
being said, like, do you know of like any like leads or like enemies that like or jealousy problems or boyfriend problems she had or anything like that?
Not, I don't, because my daughter was, everybody's going to speak good about their child, but my daughter was a jolly person, you know.
Yes.
And of course they do wrong when they're not around you, but the kind of wrong that would cause something like that, I just didn't, I have no clue what could have caused it, you know. And she was the person that she took care of her kids, she was a loving mother. She was a single parent, and she had a 2-year-old little girl, Michaela Faith, that she left behind. And my grandson, Khalil, he is now
Mm,
22, you know. So it's not good. It's not good, but we learn to live with it. As
And
yeah.
then
Peggy
like
would say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, all right, sorry. So with that being said, like how do you like you have days where you like you remember the situation and then like what happens? How do you get through those days? Just
Well, I know I always have Peggy to call, because Peggy, out of those 100 mothers, are the only one that, we have a relationship, because our relationship with God is totally different and we can't judge anybody, but we know where our strength comes from. And the days
Amen.
that, like when I get home at night, of course I cry like a baby.
mm,
I want to know. Sometimes I want to question God, but I have not yet questioned him to ask him, why did this happen? So it's rough. It's really rough. She's my only child. I don't have any more. So that means I don't get a happy birthday mom. I don't get a happy Mother's Day mom. I don't get a, Merry Christmas mom. It's those times that really affect me the worst.
Wow.
okay.
Where
Lady Ava.
your grandchildren, are they with their father or
One of them,
after, well, raising? Yeah.
yeah, one of them, I had with me in a hotel for 54 days because I didn't want to go back to the home when it happened. So Life
Mm-hmm.
Camp, which is a nonprofit organization that help people that are traumatized, they came
Mm-hmm.
to my rescue and they put me in a hotel for like 54 days, me and my grandkids, because we didn't want to live in that house anymore. And once we got in there, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to go back to where my daughter was murdered. So we had to rush in. Of course, the
Mm,
landlord wants the house back now and take everything out and put it in storage. So until this year, it'll be 4 years, December the 17th. I just recently got everything out of storage. I didn't even want to go to
Oh,
storage to look at my
wow.
daughter's stuff.
Wow.
I didn't want to go there to look at nothing. But I, got strong enough to go in this storage room and, try to keep the stuff that I could keep, keep that belonged to my daughter Dawn, and get rid of the stuff that, was no good after 4 years. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. I didn't want
What a
anybody
journey.
to help me with that. I just wanted to do it all by myself. I wanted to just smell stuff that maybe smelled like her. It just a feeling that she's going to come home one day and she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna make me cry. Hey, I'm an emotional person. You're gonna make me cry.
Oh, don't you
I
Yeah,
start
might
with
cry.
yeah.
me. I'm
I ain't
trying
even gonna
not
lie to you.
to. Don't you
I've
Yeah.
start.
cried before here. So
Mm.
Yeah. Wow.
And just
Well,
living with two grandkids, the little girl was 2. So she's in the hotel like, I want my mommy. I want my mommy. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. The little boy is like, oh, he's riding around in a car with a gun. Like, okay, what are you trying to do? Kill the rest of us? We don't know who did this, So you got to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And until this day, he's still not right. He's still not right.
Mm.
He didn't have his
Mm.
father in his life, and now he doesn't have his mother. So I had to put him in the balcony. I had to put him in the balcony and pray for him and just hope that nothing happens to him, because he
Right.
actually wished that I had took the bullets instead of his mom. That was my grandson. And I had to be like, oh, wow, it hit you, but you're already on the ground so low, you can't get any lower because you lost your child. So I'm like, okay, God, I know he's grieving. This is my grandson. Maybe he will say I'm sorry one day, but I had to realize that he's grieving, he lost his mom. So by me putting him in the balcony and praying for him, he's coming around a little bit now. Grandma, I love you, those things. And I never go back and say, why did you say that?
And you say he's 22.
Yes.
Yeah, so he was what, 17,
He was 18 when it
18
happened.
when it happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, give him a message and tell him he can come and be a guest and talk with us
Oh,
if he like
wow. I
here
certainly will,
on
but
Art for Change.
thank you.
And talk with the men. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
I've tried to do it in so many ways, but I think he's got to do it on his time because men are who
Yeah.
they are, and sometimes they don't want the women to help them.
Yeah.
Me being
Yeah.
his
Well,
grandmother.
We got
Hmm.
therapeutic Thursdays, so
yes.
we do therapy on
Nice.
Thursdays, so
Great.
that'll work
Hmm.
out for him.
I appreciate
Hmm.
that. That'll help
Yeah.
me and
Just
next
give the
day after
message,
too.
please.
I will.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Hmm.
Now, well, let's talk to Miss Peggy Herrera. Now, I haven't met you formally. I'm meeting you here virtually. I've met Janifer formally. This is how we come together in the same neighborhood in the store. And I learned she's a hummingbird like myself.
I
Yes.
heard. That was so nice.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was
We
just
were
like,
both of us were in the store like
yeah,
two little kids. Like,
sure was.
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
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 So, how was your day today, Peggy? It's a pleasure
My day
meeting
was
you here.
good. It was long. I spent
Mhm.
most of my day with a survivor that was in court. So we do court support, and her case is on trial. So I was there to support her with a few other survivors. And so we were there till 5 o'clock, and then we had our grief share group this evening. So it's been a long day, but it's been a good day. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. So I'm going to pull up your bio here. If I can, I don't know why it's not opening up for me. A little bit of technical difficulties. Um, let me see. Here we go. No, it's not. Okay, here we go. Got it.
Got it. Hmm.
So, yes, yes. So, Miss Peggy Herrera is a survivor of gun violence who has taken her deepest pain and turned it into purpose. She serves as a program manager and Not Another Child, Inc., a survivor led organization dedicated to healing, advocacy, and prevention. Before losing her son, Justin, she calls him my little man.
Hmm.
Help me to pronounce the last name, please, Peggy.
Bayerga. Bayerga.
Baerga. Baerga.
Bayerga.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
different. Is that Latin? No, that's
Yes,
not.
that is. It's like
It
Carlos
is?
Baerga. Remember the baseball player
Okay.
Carlos Baerga? Yeah, so
Okay.
Baerga.
Okay. Baerga. Okay, so losing him to gun violence, Peggy worked with incarcerated youth and has long been an advocate for justice, mental health, and human dignity. She believes mental health continues to be criminalized, yes, and that jail is a modern day slave house. After
Mhm.
decades of mass incarceration, communities are no safer. Her advocacy has extended through the Close Rikers campaign, mental health work, and survivor support. Peggy is also a minister, which she provides grief services within her church and mentors youth, encouraging them in faith and resilience. Her journey has been marked by profound loss. Her husband to cancer, her father to COVID, her son to gun violence, and even her beloved dog in a violent attack. Yet through every heartbreak, Peggy has found strength in her faith. declaring that when my hands felt empty, God filled them with purpose. I love that. I love that. Today, as a mother, grandmother, widow, minister, and survivor, Peggy walks with her pain as a part of her testimony. She continues to fight for justice, to serve those in need, and to keep her son's legacy of love and compassion alive. Beautiful, beautiful. How
Thank you.
did you? You're welcome. Absolutely. How did you come to work at what's the name here? Because it's a lot of reading. The
Not another child.
next day after,
Oh.
right?
Not
I
another
No,
work for
child.
not another
not
child.
another child Inc. Yes. How did you come there? And yeah.
Okay. So my son Justin went to celebrate his birthday party July 2nd, 2022. And some guys came in and shot up his birthday party, and 4 people got shot, and he caught the fatal shot. So um I remember being in a hospital, in Jamaica hospital, and not knowing what the next step was. I was alone there. The only thing was there was detectives. They weren't even going to let me see my child. My daughter was like, "No, what do you mean? That's his mom." Um, but I remember having to plan a funeral. I don't even know how I did that. I didn't even have repast.
Wow.
I had to be like the pillar for everyone else because no one else could do it. My other daughter couldn't do it, and so I stood there alone, and it was just, I mean, I just didn't know. I was in shock. I was in shock. Like I couldn't believe I was walking away without my son. And I remember calling my daughter one day and was like, I'm not gonna make this one. Like after losing my husband and losing my dad, and I just felt like this is not gonna work. And she said, "No, mom, you can. Yeah, you have to meet this lady." And that was Arisa Napa Williams from Not Another Child. And she's the executive director and founder of Not Another Child. And when I met her, I remember her calling me and inviting me to things. And, I'm like, oh, yeah. But after finally meeting her and joining all these mothers and survivors, it was a safe place. And I regret it not coming soon. I felt like I had missed out on so much. And I haven't turned back since. And like a year and a half ago, she offered me the position. I was working with incarcerated youth, and they were taking out. They had just offered me a promotion, but they were taking out the mental health, as I'm sure you guys might have heard or aware that a lot of the prisons and jails are removing the mental health part of it. So, I mean, what's the point if you're gonna incarcerate someone and not help them process them? What are we doing here? Like, there's no
Right.
point. Like, if it's Board of Corrections, what are we correcting? If you're not correcting anything, so it's like, so it was at that time while they were offering me the promotion, and she had offered me the position, and I prayed about it, and I accepted the position, and walked away from the youth there, and I've been there ever since, and it has been an experience. I'm learning, growing, and healing at the same time.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wow. You also, too, have my eternal condolences.
Thank you.
I I have an experience of gun violence. Not a child, but it was my cousin, and it was when I was a teenager still. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. And you don't know what anything really. We a lot of us we say, well, if this happens to me or this happened, how it would be. But you just don't know. And I had no knowing of what or thought of what to feel or what I would feel possibly. So
mhm,
I can't remember the specific date or year, but I can landmark the year because it was the year that Boys in the Hood came out and the theaters.
mm,
And It was, the new movie popping happening. So we went. Now, my cousin, I know he was already killed. He was killed here in New York. He was incarcerated. And he came home, wasn't home like for not even 2 weeks, and in the Bronx, and coming out of a store, and they just shot him. And then he was running, so they shooting and he's running. Eventually he falls, and then they came over him and
Oh God.
like my aunt and uncle. So he's my cousin through my mother's sister. But I know his father's, that he was just unrecognizable. They just did all the bullets in his face, and it was terrible. We didn't see it, but that's what we heard. Yeah. And we were the same age. So anyhow, Boys to Men comes out. And remember, I'm with my sister, I think with my boyfriend at the time, who became my husband. And we're sitting in the theater, everybody wants to see this movie. And we see the part where they start with the shooting. Something just happened to me in that instant. I started just shaking and like crying. I had to get up and leave. And my sister's like, first when I started, she said, "What is wrong with you? What are you in some?" I said, I said, "No, I gotta go. And then I realized it had the effect on me that was tied to the tragic killing of my cousin. Now, again, I didn't witness it. I hear the story, but just knowing it and how it impacted me. So that's just the most that I can share to just understand a little bit of what you women are feeling, but I know it reaches nowhere near to a child. Nowhere
Trauma
near.
is real.
But,
Trauma is real. Trauma is real.
Yes.
And we like to suppress it. And it just sits there. And if it stays there and it's not dealt with and it's not processed, then it comes out in other areas of our lives. And that's why our communities are struggling so much. That's why we're in the situations that we're in. Our kids don't know how to cope. Our communities don't know how to cope. We're killing each other. We're not stronger, which is intentional, right? We know there's an agenda. We know, there's a system,
Right.
but, at some point we have to get to that place. And unfortunately, it's taken a lot of trauma, a lot of pain in our communities, a lot of loss, a lot of death, for us to say, like, we got to stand up and fight back. And, and I mean, I've seen the numbers go down when our communities stand up, and yes, we're still dealing with it, but, it took so much for us to stand. And, I'm just so thankful for those that are standing up and doing, we got the violence interrupters and, people that stand in between people to stop someone from shooting someone else that doesn't wear a vest, that doesn't have a gun, and how much more better it is when we do it without all of that than police come and kill us. And it's just, it's just a whole, when I look at it, the cycle, and, so I'm big on mental health. I'm very big on processing. I come from a very tough upbringing. I know all those feelings of rejection and all those things that come. And 20-year-old Peggy, was making all the wrong choices. And, I wasn't even near what I am today or thinking the way I'm thinking today, but I had to do the work. I had to process the pain. And God saved my life, because it could have been me, right? It could have been me, and so I am so thankful. And so I'm very big on even when I just communicate with someone, I'll meet someone, I'm always, I engage everybody because I want to know where you're at, and once I know where you're at, it's like, where somebody's at, just like in the first few minutes. Once you engage somebody, where they're at, and then you're able to like, just embrace them, no matter where they're at. And behavior comes from a place. We don't just, I'm just going to act this way. People like, oh, that's just the way I am. No, that's not the way you are. It comes from a place. It's somewhere.
That right there, what you said, I'm holding that here because after you finish, that's where I was going to go, right there. And that's the problem. This is who I am. That is not who you are.
Mm-mm.
I can't even understand where that concept and how that lie got in so deep into humanity. You understand? And so going back for me, like I said, when that happened, I had that reaction watching this movie, Boys in the Hood, which connected to, look, no one in my family, my mother, my grandmother, no one ever talked about or said, are you all right? Or, did this thing that we know to do today. No one did that. We just heard it. We sat, we're crying, days on days here and there, and that's it. Of course, go to the service, for the funeral, and that's it. But my body told me that there's something holding in you that's not good.
Yeah. Right.
From watching Boys in the Hood. So that's what people need to understand. Like, when you are carrying on, and let's say, which is out of what you should be, out of your character,
right?
You need to pay attention to that.
Yes.
It's not, I'm mad. Well, I have a right to be. I'm doing the movements that they do, but it's something else going on inside of you. And you seem to embrace it, to think that that's okay. And it's not.
Right.
And God didn't design us that way. Yeah. And it is a vicious cycle. And I've learned this. Humanity, as we keep erring, as God says, the lesson is going to, the issue is going to repeat. So until we get the lesson. Until we get the lesson. And it appears to me, and Peggy, Janifer, you said you don't know, you didn't ask why God did this to you. For me, I've come to a thought, when God knowing who we are, that tragedy, it's already there. He knows what you're going to do with that, because he needs people like that. He needs people that can show up and say, hey, I went through this horrible thing, but I'm here. I'm doing this. I'm talking about it. I'm being vulnerable in it. Amen. He needs that to help. Yeah. That's part of the army, to help, to stop the nonsense, stop the gun violence.
Right.
Right.
And another thing, what you were saying, Peggy, too, it's amazing how the incarceration system, they want to take away mental health, but yet they want to give people rights to have body parts changed and all of that. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Did you see that they took away the boat on Monday? The boat was sold. It's gone. And I fought for that, because it's horrible, it's a modern day slave house. Okay. It's no different than what they did in the past. If it wasn't, it's so many black and brown, and you're not going to sit here and tell me what happened to the others that commit crimes. Do they have access to something we don't have access to? Because it can't just be black and brown and Latinos filling up our jails and our prisons. It cannot be. So it just, it's just something that do I believe that people make poor decisions? Do I believe that people make decisions out of their trauma based on, do I believe, yes. Do I believe people are perfect? No, but I just believe in like the God of a second chance, the God of another chance. Like, God is always going to give chances. And so we've been incarcerating for over 20 years, and we're still not safer. We're still not better. We're actually worse. And we're coming out, and we're killing our own people because we haven't processed our trauma. No one's helped us. No one's told us how to do this. This didn't go, like, how do we do this? No one's telling us. I'm young, I'm having a baby. Now I'm putting my trauma on you, and then you're putting your trauma on your kids. And it's just a cycle that never ends. And so where do we break that? Where do we stop? Where do we say, you know what, baby? Yeah.
I want to pass the mic to BU because he is a man with a specific and special background, professionalism, and he might have a lot to say on that. I think he does.
Shoot,
I'm
shoot.
crying.
Oh, BU. Oh, he is. Oh, wow. Wow, BU. That's okay. That's
Wow.
okay.
I got six
The
kids.
tears are healthy. Yeah.
Wow.
So I got six
Yeah.
kids. So hearing this story is like it's like I putting my kids in that position. Like I'm thinking
Mm.
about it, like how I would feel, and I'm relating to y'all, but I'm not relating. I didn't.
Mm.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, we just never thought this would be us. You know,
I
you
know
think
that's right.
it's not going to never come to me. It's everyone
Yeah.
else, you know, and then it
Yeah.
comes to your door and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like every day, like I was just telling
Mhm.
Jan today in group today, like no one can see that, but I was driving from the court to come to grief share. And I had a moment of him when he was a little boy with this blue coat he had on. And is he like a little China man? And I was like, man, but I just started to scream in my car, like, I miss you, bro. I miss you, Pa, you
Mm.
know, and I fought so hard for him. You know, his story,
Mhm.
like, they arrested me when I called for help when he was having a crisis, you know? And so I was a big
Mhm.
fight in that 988 number because I didn't call for police to come. I called for ambulance. You know, and even
Oh.
when they came, I was still afraid that they would kill my child, and he wasn't even
Oh, wow.
aggressive. You know, and I wind up spending the night in jail, and he never got the help he needed. So I fought hard for 988. I fought hard.
Mm.
Okay, I rallied every chance I got. I rallied. Everybody heard my voice because I could
Mm.
not believe that I worked out of your police precinct and you treated me and my child like that. You know, and
Mm.
so I fought hard for that, and so that landmarked the class action by Erga versus NYPD and Mayor de Blasio till this day is still going on, and people are signing on to it because they were treating people like Justin and others. They were criminalizing their behavior, their mental health, and I refuse to let that go down like that. And
Mhm.
so I still fight big for mental health, you know. And like I said, like people like, but you know, some people, you know, they deserve. No, don't say that. Stop
Mhm.
saying they deserve, and because why people don't say that people deserve that? Why are we
Mhm.
saying that to each other? You know, why are we continuing to say what they say? You
Right.
know, people deserve to be mentally and emotionally healthy. We're supposed to
Mhm.
love on one another. It doesn't mean we excuse it. It means we have boundaries, we're firm, but we love. Love is the one thing
Love.
you give that always returns a profit, and it is unconditional and it is free.
Hallelujah.
It
Mm.
Yes.
doesn't
Yes.
cost you nothing.
Yes.
It always
Yes.
gives you a
Mm.
profit. You know, so
Yes.
I always say I could care less about a title. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about a title. I don't care who you are. If you're not loving somebody, don't tell me about the work you do. So when I
Yes.
go to Albany, I go anywhere, I respectfully disrespect them because you are
Yeah.
not going to sit in that seat without doing nothing. Without
Yes.
doing nothing. I refuse.
His Peggy. Historically, we were it. Humans were raised that way. You know, segregated
Hmm.
in different categories and places in life, different classes. And what's her name? She did the a movie Origin. Origin. I forget. I can't get her name out. The writer. She wrote the book about caste,
Mm.
and it's a century-old system that some European men and other men